Okay, so how do you properly make an alpha? You start at the top, like that. Very nice. Yeah. Okay, so given that cos of alpha is negative 4/5, determine the other primary trig ratios, and then we're going to figure out what alpha is. So first of all, we need to draw triangles. Where will the triangle be? Quadrants 4 and 5? No. Quadrant 3, one of the triangles, yes, will be in quadrant 3. And this will be the reference angle for alpha, so we alpha r. And quadrant 2 is the other one, yes, so this will be the reference angle for alpha. Now how can I label the side lengths?
Well, you got cos is adjacent over hypotenuse, so this adjacent, which is on the what?
Adjacent will be what?
Yeah.
4 here and 4 there. That'll be the adjacent in both of them. And the hypotenuse is 5. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. What's the other side going to be? You recognize it? It's a famous triangle.
3, 4, 5.
3, 4, 5, 1. Nice.
Why is that famous?
Because all the numbers are whole numbers.
Why does everyone laugh every time I say something?
Okay, so now that we have cos of alpha, okay, you can figure out what sine of alpha and tan of alpha are. And they're going to be different depending on which alpha we're using. Because in quadrant 2, sine of alpha will be opposite over hypotenuse, 3/5. And because of the cast rule, in quadrant 2, sine will be positive. But tan, which is opposite over adjacent, will be negative. Here in quadrant 3, sine will be negative, and tan will be positive. At the bottom, do they have plus or minus when they write it, or they just write them? They just write it with an or, eh? So that's the reason it could be both positive or negative, because when you draw both of the triangles, you find that out. Now, because cos was already given to us. We already knew what cos was. And then part B, in order to find what alpha actually is, and here's alpha in quadrant 2, and here is alpha in quadrant 3, we need to know what that reference angle is. So again, you go back to your grade 10 trig. I have a triangle. If I want to find out what that reference angle is, I can choose sine, cos, or tan. Generally, what I do in a question like this, I always use the information that was given to me rather than information I figured out in case I made a mistake along the way. So you could use tan or sine or cos, but I'm going to use cos. I'm going to put my reference angle there, equals 4/5. We always consider the ratio positive when we're figuring out a reference angle because we're thinking about the actual triangle. An actual triangle all has lengths that are positive. Alpha r. So we'll take cos inverse alpha. The r should be little like that. Cos inverse of 4/5. Does it round to 36 or 37?
36.86.
So our reference angle to the nearest degree would be 37 degrees. So now let's figure out what alpha is. How would I figure alpha here in quadrant 2? Subtract the 37 from 180. Okay, so we get 143 degrees. And this one. Careful, the reference angle's here, not with the 270. We add it to 180. 217 degrees.
You should always wear white shirts.
I should always wear white shirts.
Find a smart board, you can still read.
Oh, you can still. Nice. You learn something new every day. Pretty soon I'll be old, have white hair, be perfect. All right, so question number 13 is the one you can do.